one at the start, and I will start the VOD now. All right, hello, welcome to the PiG Daily, episode number 78. Today it's What If Wednesdays, and we're going to be doing a Zerg versus Terran match between a couple of high-ranked GM players in the 5800 MMR range. We have JHeffe and CalebAracous, or am I even saying that right?
It's Aracous.
Aracous? I feel like Aracous sounds cooler. You should change that. No, anyway, you guys are both from the Storm Academy team. So thank you so much for volunteering at short notice to come on. Just give yourselves a quick intro. Just, where you're based, how long you've been playing for. Caleb, you first.
Well, I'm Zerg. I'm in North Carolina. I'm rank 30-ish right now. I've been playing on and off since the middle of HOTS, probably.
Awesome. And JHeffe?
All right. Well, I'm JHeffe. I played ever since Wings released, but I didn't really start playing seriously until mid to late HOTS. Currently, I'm rank 66 GM on NA. That's
awesome.
about it.
All right. Thanks heaps, guys. So I'll give you guys the rules for today's show, and this is also for anyone watching the stream. So the whole point of What If Wednesdays is we get you guys to play a couple of show matches, and whatever happens is the loser of the match gets to come on the call quickly with me afterwards, I say, where do you think you lost? They're like, I think I lost after this drop killed 20 drones. Let's restart right before that happens, and I'm going to pull those drones away, and I think the whole game's going to be different because of that. And the rule is the winner has to play the same way. The winner is not allowed to change things up. They're also not allowed to listen to the call. So you've got to have your mic and your headset deafened, of course. Not just while the match is going, but while the person's analyzing what they're going to change up, and you're only allowed to change things up as the winner once you actually see the differences. So in a way, you're playing into their reaction. It's not like you're playing as hard to I'm going to change up every game to try and win. It's more about showing pro and high-level practice and how you can make small adjustments or sometimes big adjustments to totally change the outcome when we repeat the same scenario. So yeah, that's about it. So let's get the game started straight away. Good luck, have fun, guys. Just deafen your mics, and whoever is the loser, just undeafen your mic when you're done, and we'll have a little chat. Good luck, guys. And they are both deafened now on Discord. They cannot hear what I'm saying. All right, guys, we're going to dive right on into the game. I even have the blessing of sync. Oh my god! So we are going to be diving into game, guys. Here we are, going into New Gettysburg. And yeah, they've actually, JHeffe. I said JHeffe at the start because I've played him on ladder before and stuff, and I don't know, you just get used to these certain names. But JHeffe is actually yeah, I'm happy to play Gettysburg. I think that's the fairest because he's I think Galactic's too strong for Terran. I think Sejong's too strong for Terran. I think Apotheosis is too strong for Zerg. He's I think this might actually be the map we're both most comfortable on. So JHeffe, being nice enough to pick a map, which I would say is quite a bit Zerg favored, but Terran definitely still has their opportunities and openings here, and especially as the Zerg spreads out a lot more. There are a few nifty ledges on this map. This ramp, even though it's wide, can still, if the units clump up around the corners, there's still a few cool areas which the players can take advantage of. So let's introduce these players. Spawning down in the bottom left-hand side, representing the Storm Academy team, our Zerg player, it is CalebAracous. And his opponent spawning the bottom right-hand side of the map, playing Terran in the blue. Also from the Storm Academy, it is JHeffe. Going to be opening up with a very standard barracks gas opening to kick things off. Caleb here going to be going for a hatch first as well. One thing I did forget was to change the stream title. What If Wednesdays ZvT? Go. JHeffe plus CalebAracous. Let's do it. So, I'm also going to put some music on in-game. This show is a little bit impromptu, and turn that game sound down a little bit. Be just a little bit of that background music. We'll turn that up just a little bit. The in-game soundtrack is so sick for this. There's going to be a Reaper opening out of JHeffe, and just going to be going for that command center. So the interesting thing on this map, and let's talk about it from the Terran perspective, is how do you push in, how do you put pressure on? Definitely the main base here is quite far, especially if we zoom out. whoop, to the third. And then even further to the fourth. So the Zerg does get spread out in this long line. If the Terran can sneak drops into the main and kind of do damage there and start to get a bit of momentum, it can definitely open up a lot of opportunities. And when the Terran is both dropping the main and pushing in the north side of the map on the fourth, it becomes a bit hard for the Zerg to maintain that position. So for Zerg in the mid game, a lot of the focus is going to be around getting the creep up this area, around this north side of the map to protect this fifth and this fourth base, and maintaining that while just defending. This is very much a Zerg is the defender, Terran is the aggressor. Kind of generally in this matchup, but especially on this map, it's very focused for that. Of course, there are some very aggressive things which Zerg can do. We've seen a lot of Baneling busts versus 2-1-1 openings on here. But for now, it looks like JHeffe going to come in, going to go for that Zergling. Just going to be nice and annoying with this Reaper. Does get a Zergling, which is very good. Any Zerglings you can pick off with that Reaper actually really do make life a lot harder for the Zerg. And it looks like Caleb's actually going to be going for that Overlord speed opening. Playing super safe, wanting to just get all the scouting information, maybe mixing some drops in later as well. Meanwhile, JHeffe actually hiding his information very well with his barracks and factory tucked in way in the back of his base, starting to pump out those Marines. Meanwhile, this Reaper continuing to be as annoying as possible, and we see Caleb here wants to go for that third base, but the Reaper's just going to delay that as long as possible. He knows he's got about 15 more seconds until Zergling speed finishes, but ooh, a little bit slow on the micro there. Is he going to be able to stop this? Nice Reaper bomb, but can he actually kill this Zergling? No, 2 more Zerglings coming up. Zergling speed's about to finish, but the Reaper killed 4 Zerglings, and oh, he's going to try to get out, but no, the Zerglings... Oh my god, friendliest Zerglings ever. They just let that Reaper survive. Caleb with a little bit of miscontrol, going to let that Reaper survive, and that means he's going to get some very important follow-up scouting as well as those 4 Zergling kills. So very nice play there out of JHeffe. Oh, the Overlord's going to come in, sees the Marine count and the second barracks. I mean, it knows what's up just from seeing that many Marines out so early. But this is going to make it so, you know, JHeffe now, he's been scouted. And really for Caleb, the question is, how do you defend against that double Marine drop? It looks like double Evo chamber going down super fast, even before 4 minutes, just before the 4-minute mark. And this Reaper's going to see it. And this is really good for JHeffe because he now knows that there is no threat. There is no way a Zerg can all-in you when they're going for double upgrades. So JHeffe, he's going to feel really safe to just push out. He might not even finish his wall off at home. Actually, oh, he's going to go for the very fast double engineering bay follow-up, which also gives him the wall off. So that's going to be one nice way of being safe at home. Meanwhile, the first 2 medevacs are almost out, and that drop action is going to be starting in the very near future. Caleb here, because he's gone for the Overlord speed, doesn't have that really beastly economy you might sometimes see off a Zerg player as they defend this. It's all going to be about just having lots of Queens, lots of Zerglings in the right positions at the right times, and this creep spread going out is going to be really important for getting him to do that. So, so that's going to be really good. A few questions from chat. Needsmore says, I haven't heard of these guys. Who are they? So we did just do the intros at the start. They're both a couple of high GM players in that kind of, I mean, rank 60-ish, kind of that sort of range. Not necessarily full-time pro gamers, but these are very high-level players who are really good. They are both on that Storm Academy, so they're kind of in that up-and-coming range of players. JHeffe, for instance, said he's only been playing since like kind of middle to late Heart of the Swarm. Seriously, he only played a little bit before that. But nice drop here, gets a few creep tumors, does get out of there with almost all the Marines intact. But good defense by Caleb. Respreads the creep immediately, which is the important thing. And this drop's just going to have to kind of zone around the edges. Meanwhile, Lair is on the way for... Wow, Caleb's going for a very fast Lair and a third gas. So not really focusing on the big mineral income, but going to be able to get out very fast Baneling speed and upgrades. So I think Caleb here is really going to be focusing on not missing a beat in the defense. He doesn't have the economy to absorb any drone losses. It's all about shutting down the aggression super hard and just like having good creep spread, never losing an engagement. And if JHeffe ever overextends, he's just going to get wrecked by the heavy upgrade, heavy tech, heavy creep spread style of Caleb. However, Caleb, if JHeffe plays it a little bit slower and doesn't throw his units away, Caleb is going to struggle in that economy game as JHeffe is already on even work accounts and he can't throw these Marines away. He's trying to go in there, cute little maneuver, but does lose a Marine, just wastes a bit of Queen energy. Caleb's defense is on point and he's actually rushing his Infestation Pit like grossly fast. This is the thing of Terran Nightmares. Infestation Pit already done. I think he's going to be going for a Hive without even taking his third base saturation yet. This is a Terran nightmare, man. Another 2 drops are making their way out. This is where things get a little bit more difficult for Caleb. And what you got to keep in mind is, yeah, Caleb hasn't taken damage, But guess what? 1-1's already finished here for Terran. Ooh, Armory a little bit delayed for JHeffe, but he's going up to that 5 barracks. He's already got 3 barracks producing. He's going for the reactor on the factory. He's going to start Widow Mine production, and that 3rd orbital's done. So I do feel like JHeffe is playing this very well. I think the players are pretty neck and neck, but the one thing is JHeffe has no idea that Hive's already halfway done, and that's going to be very scary. And look at this. He's using a lot of scans to clear this creep, and it is slowing it down, but it's definitely not pushing it back too far. These queens actually not respreading the creep this time, so it looks like finally JHeffe with 4 medevacs joining up, a big ball of Marines is going to start getting that damage done with no Baneling speed out just yet. This is a very scary Marine force. Let's see, how deep does he choose to go? He's going to scan ahead. He says he's going to go for it. He's actually going to try and snipe these tumors, maybe even snipe the Banelings down as well, but that's a lot of queens. And oh, he goes for the focus fire on the Banelings, but already 2 medevacs just get snapped instantly. And yeah, he's got to get out of there. A big win there for Caleb. Shuts down this attack, and JHeffe, unfortunately, falling a little bit behind there. So that was the 7-minute 30 mark. Going to note that one down. I'm going to throw this onto Caleb's camera. Ultralisk Cavern does start. So 7 minutes 30 is when he threw those Marines away a little bit. And somewhere around the, I believe it was the 6-minute mark. Probably about the 5-minute 30. 5 minutes 30. He forgot the armory. So those are 2 really key points in this game, which we might end up coming back to a little bit later. And it looks like, ooh, JHeffe is going to come in with a lib, but those queens, they've spotted that well ahead of time. 2 libs, not combined with any other drop though. Oh, he is poking at the front with the Marines. Okay, so poke with the drops at the front, try to do damage, and hope your Liberators can set up and do some nice shots. But that Liberator in the main, not even going to kill, not even going to kill a single queen. This Liberator on the 3rd doing a little bit of damage, 2 drones, denying a bit of mining, but this is expensive pressure. Those Liberators are very valuable. And 2-2's about to finish for Zerg here, +2 carapace at least, +2 melee's a little bit behind, but oh, and it finishes. He's got it just now. Kicks in, and he has to abandon a bunch of his Marines there. This Liberator does get a couple more workers. Only 3 workers in total. Not really too fantastic. Only actually 2 workers in total. So Caleb's just looking too strong so far this game. Got the Ling Bane out. He's got Chitinous Plating. And he's going to start building Ultras now with 2-2 and Adrenal. And I don't know. I don't know if JHeffe is ready. I think he's thrown away a few too many Marines here. Hasn't quite found that damage. And now he's going to be fighting into Ultras very soon. Of course, Caleb here hasn't actually started the Ultra production yet. He is just droning on up. There are the 8 barracks coming down for JHeffe, the last 3 barracks, which he's going to add tech labs on to increase that Marauder production. +3 attack has started for him. Caleb here getting his queens caught out just a little bit. He's going to continue to have this creep pushed back. It's good that JHeffe is controlling this high ground. This really is like the important staging point for Terran. Because there's no Widow Mines in here, the Ling Bane is still very scary at this point. Oh, the Widow Mines are all on the north side. That's actually, yeah, really frightening. He needs those Widow Mines to take down these Banelings. But the time of Widow Mines and Marines is almost over. We've already got him swapping 1 barracks to build an extra tech lab, realizing what's going on. And he does drop a scan up here to continue clearing this creep. Ling Bane coming in from behind. Ooh, those Banelings almost copping a very bad Widow Mine shot. And JHeffe is trying to keep up the pressure, but Ultras are now out. 5 of them are on the way, 3-3s on the way. Caleb just wants to turtle here. He just wants to play this slow. JHeffe is starting that 4th command center now. 3 more tech labs are out. Lots and lots of Marauders joining the fray, but no Liberators are out. This is going to be really tough. Ultras with Chitinous Plating are there. 3-3 of Zerg is going to finish before the 3-3 of Terran. I think Caleb's going to need to really screw it up to throw this one away. With no Liberators out, there's really no answer to the Ultralisk army. There's only 7 Marauders in this army right now, 3 mines. The rest is just Marines and Medevacs. Multi-prong dropping may be the answer, but I don't think Caleb's going to give him the chance to make that decision. That is a huge Ultralisk army there. And I think, yeah, JHeffe's got to get out of there. He should realize at this point he's got to leave. Oh, some good Widow Mine shots on the Lings, but that's not enough. Yeah, he has to pick up and get on out of here. Good decision by JHeffe. Just picks off some Lings, loses his Widow Mines, gets on out. He's got to keep this army alive. He's got to add something to support it. Liberators are on the way now. These Banelings, oh, they're not actually, oh my god, the Marines shoot themselves to death by killing the Banelings that are on top of them. Unfortunately taking a little bit of damage there. Looks like this game's going to slow down for a little bit. Caleb not wanting to actually get aggressive, just adding Infestors and Corruptors and continuing to build Queens, actually, which I find interesting. With no attack upgrades on them, looks like he just wants to play a super turtly. I'm just going to push creep across the map and eventually win if you ever attack into me. And, you know, JHeffe is really afraid of making the game go longer. His army's just doesn't seem big enough right now. Meanwhile, the Ling Bane down there, ooh, not actually going in. That's a missed opportunity. But good Marauder kiting for now. The medevac count remains. He needs to keep that medevac count alive, or these Marauders and Marines will not be able to micro all over the place. Looks like a cute little drop over here. Gonna go down to those Banelings. But taking a lot of them with them. Good trade for Terran. Only one starport still. Liberator production is not constant. There's only 2 libs on the field. There are 29 Marauders, but against 9 Ultralisks, even 29 Marauders aren't going to be doing that much. Of course, you've got to take into account Ultralisks have 8 armor, times by 2 against the 2 attacks of the Marauders. So each Marauder attack only does 10 damage. 2 5 damage attacks, basically. So 10 damage total each time a Marauder shoots an Ultralisk, which means it takes over 50 Marauder shots to kill an Ultralisk. So even when you've got over 25 Marauders, say you've got 26, 27 Marauders, which he does have now, he's got, you know, 30. Yes, he can 2-shot an Ultralisk, but if he ever gets fungled, if those transfuses are landing, his job becomes an absolute nightmare. Ghost Academy is on the way. It looks like JHeffe is going to try and play this late game. The Queens will lose value eventually, once EMPs start landing on them, potentially. But even then, I mean, I feel like they're just such a good multi-purpose unit to have. Looks like, okay, here we go. Here comes the big fight. Ultra's coming in, Corruptor's coming in. Caleb's just playing this like the way Zerg players probably should, but the way Terran players hate. Like, he just isn't coming off creep, and he's just continuing to build up on his composition. He's got a second Spire, a greater Spire. He's just going to keep working on his composition and defending, and just saying, come on creep, let me wreck you. And if JHeffe ever oversteps, he's going to get shut down super hard. Super duper hard. Nice drop attempt over here from JHeffe, trying to keep up some aggression. But, oh, it looks like it's time. Oh, Corruptors snipe 1 medevac, snipe 2 medevacs. That's really big. Good micro from Caleb. Every medevac he kills is massive. And there's only 2 Liberators still. He's really not opting for a lot of Liberators. There we go. Okay, 6 Liberators do join up now. Ling Bane counterattack on the right-hand side is going to... Oh, the command center does lift in time. And, oh, these Ultras actually are going to go down to that Marine Marauder stim. But those Zerglings will get in there and maybe get a chance to kill a few Zerglings at the same time. The Ultras and Corruptors try to come in on the front. They land a decent fungal, but with 6 Liberators set up, not the best spot for them to engage. But the Zerglings do the work, man. They managed to clear out most of that mineral line, knocking down JHeffe's worker count significantly. These workers just standing around. Meanwhile, though, drop in the Zerg base at the same time, also doing some good damage. And both players starting to... They're so afraid of that frontal engagement that they're staring at it so much that maybe they are taking a little bit more damage than is necessary. So 15 minutes is this moment where drop, run by, and the front armies are still just posturing. They're still... Oh, but the Broodlords are here. And that's where it all ends. I want to keep the hype up, but I don't know, man. I don't think... He's already got 4 Vikings out, actually. He doesn't have any upgrades for them, though. No upgrades for air. So I'm going to write that down as well. He's going to try and fight this air battle, and this is how I played in the early days of Legacy. I literally just sat on creep, and I just like made Broodlords and Corruptors off Ultras and Infestors and Queens. And then if they made air, I'd add Vipers, and I'd start building like Spore Crawlers out here. Let's hope Caleb isn't as disgusting as I was back in those days. Oh, the Ghost is coming forward. He wants to get... does manage to EMP one of those Infestors. It's decent. How many EMPs we got? We got 5 Ghosts, so there's a few Snipes available in there, a few Widow Mines. Really, if one player gets impatient and like attacks into the other, then things could go south very quickly. That drop does get sniped down by that medevac. These Vikings, ooh, very risky going forward like that. If they get fungled, they will go down. There's still, I believe, 4 or 5 Infestors in there with lots of energy. Still no air upgrades for JHeffe. I think that's really going to hurt him this game. I'm kind of sad we picked this map now, because this is kind of hard. I'm just like, oh, Caleb, please do something. Don't just make Broodlords, you horrible human. Don't play like I play. Only I'm allowed to do this disgusting stuff. Caleb playing really patient there. This is just smart, good play. This is very strategic, very tactical. And he's trying to pick away as well. He wants to use that Broodlord range. Interestingly though, it looks like his Broodlords are on the same hotkey as the rest of his army. I really feel like in this situation, you need to control your Broodlords separately to get the maximum value. That's something I discovered in like late HOTS with certain compositions I would play. I was like, you know what? Like you can actually stutter step Broodlords like crazy, and they become so much more valuable if you do that. But looks like Caleb here just wants to kind of steadily overwhelm. I think he's going to add like 2/2 flyer upgrades and then just overwhelm with Mass Corruptor and so on. Nice fungal. Those queens going to make quick work of that lib, man. No upgrades. So even though the queens don't have attack upgrades, they're still doing massive damage because there's no armor for the Liberators. Ooh, one good EMP there, but a nice fungal as well. Ghosts in the open. Another good fungal lands. All the ghosts go down. Oh no, the Broodlords are a bit far in the back. The Infestors and Ultras actually going a little bit far forward. They do take a lot of damage. At the end of the day, though, I think killing all those ghosts, a very good trade. Caleb's got the bank to work with. He's got so much money. Nice Liberator harassment coming in up here, though. JHeffe's doing something. He's only on 4 bases against 6-7 bases of Zerg now, though, so it's tough. He's got to keep getting work done. And Caleb's just banking more and more money at this point. I think Spores and Spines here would really seal the deal. If you're not going to attack, just go full filth. But, oh, he's looking for it. Okay, he's going to start setting up these Liberators. He wants to move forward here. Ah, no! Silly Infestor. Toasted Snail. 2/2s on the way for Caleb. Gotta keep in mind these queens don't add a lot of damage against the ground, but if they can hit the Liberators and Vikings, they're still going to do fantastic work. JHeffe getting more and more command centers up. Did he lose the command center here again? Oh my god, he just keeps losing this command center. And I think that might actually be the key part of this game. Really, when you get in this scenario, neither player wants to attack into each other. So let's actually talk about the strategy. I've just been kind of not really saying much. But let's actually talk about it. So, alright, big fight coming here. Looks like those Broodlings are going to come on in. Widowmine's not very useful at this stage. I do feel like the Zerg has the range superiority, so they should steadily win in these trades if microed correctly. But it's very easy to slip up and get everything EMP'd and just lose the game. It's very easy for Terran to overstep and get fungled and lose the game. So both players really want to not attack into each other, because if you do overstep like that, you just lose the game. So it's all about not taking the bad trades, trying to pick away at them in the center, but without taking bad trades, without overstepping and losing everything suddenly, while picking away at their economy from behind. And Caleb's counterattacks, denying this base for so long, really did that, and that really is the reason why his bank is so much bigger. Normally the Zerg will have a bigger bank at this time, but not this much bigger. Like, this is just insane. These ghosts out on creep. Oh man, ballsy maneuver there. But here we go. This is what I'm talking about. You've got to pick away at their economy, and when they're distracted, sometimes you take trades at the front. You see exposed Infestors, you snipe them. See, this is exactly what JHeffe is doing, but Caleb reacts. He knows this move. He's fought it many times before. Does actually snipe a ghost there in return. The Corruptors came back, sniped the drop, and he goes back to it. But being able to stop these kind of counter attacks and these little pokes is so important. Notice JHeffe is just going with a single lib. I would actually love them to say, you know what, you're not going to attack into me. Let's just pick up 16 Marines and just drop them there while a Liberator hits the top. Really try and stretch your opponent, even though it's a bit risky. We see Caleb here, once again, sliding that Ultralisk past the defenses. The Ghosts aren't going back to deal with it. He could kill a lot of SCVs, and there's only 47 SCVs left. This is a really good move from Caleb. Just one Ultralisk doesn't cost a lot out of his bank right now for potentially huge damage. And a lot of the army of JHeffe pulling back. Is this going to give Caleb a chance to take a fight on the front? It might do, but actually JHeffe is the one who's looking for the fight on the front. So does lose a few Ghosts. Get some EMPs. Oh, doesn't kill anything. Loses a few Ghosts. Meanwhile, though, Liberator up here. Killed a few drones, is denying mining. Those Spore Crawlers in late game are so important for stopping this sort of stuff. Nidus Worm, double Nidus Worm, in fact, is finished up here for Caleb. I think Caleb wants to use that bank. He wants to start trading and saying, look, you can't keep up if I can just keep forcing trades. Double Nidus Worm popping in that main base. I think Caleb is just going to pop out all of his Lings and Ultras, maybe. What's he got in there? He's got, whoa, masses of Zerglings. There we go. The double Nidus Worm pops out. and Zerglings start flooding into that main base. And remember, these are 3-3 cracklings. These units do an insane amount of damage. They will shred through this production so fast. The army's trying to get back there desperately, but he's going to lose so much production. Nice. Cloaked Ghost. Marines on the ramp do hold the choke point against those Lings. Only going to actually lose a few production facilities here. Meanwhile, JHeffe doing a great job of scanning ahead and looking for... Oh, great EMP on those Infestors. Snipes coming down here. Gets a few of those Infestors, so it's a bit of a trade. Very good play by JHeffe, actually handling this surprisingly well, despite the threat of those Nidus Worms staying really strong on the front. And these Ghosts are really intimidating Caleb and keeping him pressed backwards. Very well played there by JHeffe. And it really is about the bouncing back and forth of the attention at this point. So it's all about where can you make your opponent look. Let's look at a player's vision right now. So we're going to look at JHeffe. He's queued up that Liberator up there to siege. And we're just going to look from his camera. So he's going to come in here, pick off the creep. He's got to keep the vision back. He's going to try and focus down some of these spines. Does drop a nice... oh, he's going to lose another Ghost. Does drop another EMP, but he's got to sometimes, I think, cloak those Ghosts so that the Broodlings can't finish them off. Meanwhile, double Nidus Worm there. Let's keep an eye on his attention. Has he realized it? No, he's only realizing now. He's looking around. He's panicking. He doesn't see it. Now he sees it. Lifts the base, tries to run the SCVs, but I think it's a little bit too slow of a reaction this time. Notice how he's just A-moved his whole select all army key down there to deal with it, and then he's just focusing on the front. He's actually saying the main fight is more important. He's not even A-moving down there. He's actually just going to focus on this fight. Those Vikings and Liberators going forward, trying to engage here. Nice fungal on the air units, but the snipes on the Corruptors. Oh my god, he just took down so many Corruptors, and he's just going all in here. He's just saying, screw it, I need to kill you. I need to take one good fight right now. I've had enough. And Caleb just has to hang on. He needs to buy time to let that bank do the job. Oh, JHeffe has taken so much damage, though. He's lost the third and all the production at it. His fourth base is getting wrecked with no planetary up there. And right now, only 5 Marines, 3 Medevacs, and a Marauder in the production tab. That is not what you want as Terran. Looks like he's going to struggle quite hard there. He's going to actually even lose a Ghost here to the Zerglings. And, you know, these are trades that Caleb can afford to take in terms of Zerglings anyway. Notice Caleb's gas bank is actually very low. Caleb hasn't started mining gas on these 2 newest bases, and that is a big mistake at this point. He does need to get those bases mining. Where's his work account, actually? It's kind of all over the place. Oh, JHeffe, he needs to notice. He needs to notice. Does he notice it? Come on, those Nidus Worms in the back of his base. He's got to notice this. But I don't think he has. I don't think he's paying attention. And once again, Nidus Worms scanning there. He's not watching his minimap. He can see this. It's in vision. But I think he's just... Yeah, he's so focused on that front. Like, you got to understand just how worried you are about the army coming in and fungling you. He's going to clean it up. But his mining is so low right now. This base is so important. He needs to defend it. He needs to lift that orbital. But now the Corruptors can shoot it. Uh-oh. Oh, man. He's actually going to maybe lose that orbital. No, it looks like he's okay for now. But the Broodlords are on top of everything. The EMPs are okay, but the fungal has already landed. He's not going to be able to land those snipes, which are the only way he could win this fight. And I think Caleb has finally done it. He's finally managed to take down JHeffe. Wow. These guys playing late game, man. GG. Oh my god. That was some gross Zerg. I'm never gonna move off creep action right there. GG's. Bad luck, man. How you going?
I'm gonna start right before my drop hits. I wanna go to
your first 2-on-1?
Yeah, I want to go to 3 minutes in the game.
Okay, 3 minutes. Okay, so you want to go back to like your initial opening. That's cool. So what are the main things you're looking to change up, just in terms of the flow of the game and everything?
So first things first, I see that he has a lot of queens, so I should instantly know I need to be very, very careful with my drops. That I was not careful. Another thing is that I wasn't hitting a lot of my timings and my macro was off. So when he went into all those styles, I had to be very defensive. Yep. So he was very free to get up to very fast high tech.
I think like a big one was probably the armory. the armory you forgot for like a good 40 seconds or so, I think, right? So that was probably pretty big.
Yeah, the build was really dirty.
Okay. So you reckon basically just tightening it up from the early game, and that's the thing, right? If you can not take any medevac damage and just keep those Marines threatening, it puts more pressure on him. And then like your later build up is going to be smoother behind it. You're just a bit more prepared for those queens, so you're not overextending into them. And generally, like, it's kind of this like little bit of tempo early on, and just having your build crisper should extrapolate into a much bigger advantage later, right? And you actually being able to not just sit back and let him go to hive tech and camp on creep for an hour.
Yep. It's so frustrating when I don't hit my timings correctly.
Yeah, you start to feel kind of helpless. I experience the same thing at when I'm playing TVZ. Like if you do your macro well while not throwing away any of your aggression, things can go so well, but otherwise things can fall apart a little bit. So that's awesome. We're gonna cover game really quickly. It's already almost ready. So good luck, have fun, man, and kick some ass.
All right.
Thank you.